Hi,
Hi guys.
everybody.
Hey guys.
Hi, welcome to another episode of the Williams Coffee Chronicles. As usual, we have our coffee, and I think Chris is drinking tea. I'm
Yes.
actually drinking black coffee today
Mm.
in honor of all our black people. Listen,
Exactly.
I'm going for everything black in this time.
Exactly.
Okay? Listen, let me take a sip here. How's everybody doing?
How's everybody feeling? I know everybody's still locked down in this quarantine, and some people is at work. So just checking up on y'all guys just to see how y'all been feeling, what's new, how y'all been working out, how y'all been doing activities.
Yeah, what's going on with everybody? Um, so there's so much going on, and I feel like we just started doing this show yesterday,
Yeah.
but I feel like we have had to say that every single day. Unfortunately, unfortunately, um, it has hit home for
Yes.
us, and we have had issue with our own nephew who was stopped yesterday by the police. He was out protesting and he was arrested and he was attacked.
Right.
So we felt like we wanted to do something at first to center ourselves. So just join us as we try to meditate and pull ourselves together.
Letting go. Let life flow. Today, tune in, slow down, and just be. Take a moment, reflect, meditate, and breathe. Rest in the silence. Feel peace surround you. Rest in the silence. Letting go. Letting go. 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So we just needed a moment to kind of center ourselves because, as I said before, I played that music. By the way, that was Letting Go, Healing Meditation by Naj. But we felt the need to kind of center ourselves because with everything that's going on in the media, black and brown bodies being attacked, it has hit home for us. Yesterday we got news that Christopher's nephew was in the midst of a protest in Brooklyn. He was attacked. He was knocked off his bike, and then police began to
Beat him badly
yeah.
and fractured his ribs.
Yeah, and his ribs were fractured. I'm just gonna take a moment and show you the video so you can see it for yourself. It's been going live, and if you see the young man that has been pushed off the bike, that is Christopher's nephew. He's only 16 years old. You want to start? You want to take this, Chris?
Well, in my opinion, it was his first time protesting, and he went out there because he believed in a lot of stuff that's going on, especially have to do with black bodies and cops killing black people and us and the young generation, the old generation, anything that's black, they're going to try to kill. And this was his first time as going out there. He went out there with a peaceful protest. He was clearly, if you saw in the video, on his bike. He wasn't even on foot. He was on his bike, minding his business in peace. But you saw the officer just threw him off his bike and literally pulled him to beat him badly. And it wasn't just one officer, it was three officers. And you saw the NYPD sergeant there also participating in the attack as well. And this is uncalled. This is uncalled, and we need justice. And they actually broke his ribs.
They fractured his ribs.
They fractured his ribs off of this whole situation, and he wasn't really doing nothing but just minding his business, and that's unacceptable. That's totally unacceptable, and this is a big ass lawsuit.
And another thing is that he's 16 years old.
Exactly.
He's 16 years
a
old.
young teenager.
And he was taken I think it happened. This was in Brooklyn.
This right.
Yeah, so he was in Brooklyn protesting. They took him to a precinct in Manhattan, the 7th precinct in Manhattan. And I think 19 and a half Pitt Street is the address in Manhattan. No one ever tried to reach out to contact his parents.
At all.
No one reached out to contact his mother. Nobody in the family was reached to contact him. And his mother had to do her own investigation to try to find out where her 16-year-old son was.
A minor.
A minor. A minor. And fortunately, you know, the injuries weren't worse or life-threatening.
Exactly. But just the simple fact that it was injury just from the beginning is ridiculous. He was not on foot. He wasn't even causing no issues. They just saw a young black person on the bike with just minding his business, and then went up to him and then want to attack him. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable.
Totally.
And the people that is basically responsible for that should be fired and charged as well on top of that, because it's unacceptable. He was young, he was a minor, he was protesting in peace.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that protest for the rights, and then you have some protester that just go along and then ride on the coattail and then cause destruction. This situation here was nowhere near like that. It was nowhere near. He was on his bike. He didn't have no weapons. He didn't have no guns. He had none of that stuff. He was just protesting in peace. You can't protest in peace and peace in the USA.
Ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Where it is literally our right to protest. Literally our right to protest. But when people are out there peacefully protesting, then they're getting attacked by the police.
It's already, you can't jog, you can't go to the store, you can't go to the mall, you can't go to any of these fashion stores, you can't drive, you can't ride the fucking bike, you can't skateboard, you can't do shit without getting like attacked or killed. What the NYPD, y'all is definitely is responsible for this, and y'all will get what's coming to you. Y'all will, because this is out of control. Justice needs to be served. Y'all just can't go around killing us, and we pay our taxes for your ass to have a job. Fuck, it don't make no sense.
Exactly.
No sense.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just like, we were up like half the night.
Worrying.
We were worried because we had no clue where he could have been or where he was. You know, and with everything that's going on, anything could have happened to him. Anything.
And that's the scary part, is that we cannot trust the police. And it's sadly to say that. It's sad to say that. We can't really trust the police. If any situation happened that have to do with us putting us in danger, we have to take care of that situation ourselves. Because if we involve the cops in it, child, the baby be dead and we be dead on top of that. And the only person that will be alive is NYPD.
It's the police officer.
Like,
or any police department.
No, the police department. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, this actually comes from the top down.
Yes.
So the issue is that we are living in a country with a racist, bigoted president, okay, who's in this office and who pretty much gives license to racist people and to law enforcement to do whatever they want to do. Right?
Yes, it's true.
Okay. And that just like keeps on happening. And I'll give you an example. So when the police officers were standing in, remember when they had that protest, I forgot what state it was in, but they was protesting over the
I think it was in Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure what state it was in, but they were protesting over them not being able to basically go get their hair, because I think it was in Michigan. Actually.
Yeah.
They were protesting for them not being able to go get their hair done and their nails done in the quarantine and threatening the governor's life. I'm gonna pull up this tweet about what was said by the president.
Exactly.
The governor of Michigan should give a little and put out the fire. These are very good people, but they are angry and they want their lives back again, safely. See them, talk to them, make a deal. Check this out.
When armed protesters stormed the state capital of Michigan and blocked ambulances, Donald Trump had a more encouraging tone on social.
That was it. The video.
Craziness. Complete craziness.
Out of control.
Out of control.
And in my opinion, you clearly shows, okay, it's one thing to protest in peace. And these people in Brooklyn and other places been protesting in peace with no guns, no weapons, no nothing. But then you have this incident where these people is animals. They not protesting in peace. You see shotguns, you see machine weapons, you see all that. And people face with no mask, no nothing. And some of them, if they did have on masks, they was taking their masks off, spitting in the police officers' faces. But nobody didn't get hit with no gas mask. No cop didn't actually hit these people and stuff. Nothing was done. They just stood there and got either spit or pushed by these people that was not protesting, that was protesting, but was doing it crazy and destruction.
Now look at this response to the protesting that has been happening in Minneapolis after the killing of George Floyd. A stark contrast. Now remember, the ones that were protesting in Michigan, those white people, they had machine guns and the ability to kill. And look at the response. You saw what he said in the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, they're good people and, make a deal. Here's the difference. These thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd, and I won't let it happen. Please. Just spoke to Governor Tim Walz and told him that the military is with him all the way. Any difficulty and we will assume control. When the looting starts, the shooting starts.
Fucking ridiculous.
Are you kidding me? So literally, this guy was just literally allowed to get on social media and incite violence. And the crazy thing about it is this, is that he was flagged by Twitter. But Twitter did not remove his post. Listen,
which is ridiculous.
Listen,
ridiculous.
Twitter, I know that Donald Trump is the powerful person in this country, but he needs to be held to the same standard as any other American or person in this world who will post something that would incite violence on your platform.
Exactly.
If you can remove that, then you need to remove him, especially because you flagged it as being violent.
In my opinion, if I was every black person and every black person have a Twitter account, if they do not remove what is going on with this person, who that is in office, then if I was you, I would delete all my Twitter page. Because that means that Twitter don't even have no respect for your kind being either. And that's how I'm going to leave it like that.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. I want to talk also about in Minneapolis there was this they have been looting and rioting and burning down police stations and businesses and all kinds of things. Actually the place looks like a war zone right now, and they have actually been burning things down. And there was a particular restaurant owner, and his place was burnt down. I'm gonna put a picture of him and his daughter on the screen along with Guy Fieri when they were on the Food Network. some years ago. But his restaurant, I think it's called the Gandhi Mahal, was burned down. And he actually said that though they were upset, of course, about losing their property or whatever, he actually had said that that property can be replaced.
Yeah.
But this man's life cannot be replaced. Okay? So the fact that he said that, I mean, I was very, very moved by this particular man, and also the fact that he was able to try to help some of the protesters that were out there protesting. There was a person on the comments that I noticed that said he allowed them to come into his store, he gave them a meal, and he protected them from what was going on outside. So big up to him.
Yes, big up to him. Yes, he is definitely a hero. And that situation that was going on in that protesting and stuff, it was a lot of it was really, really crazy. It was not as crazy, but it got out of hand. And the reason why it got out of hand because of how the police officers react to it. It would have never got out of hand because those people was clearly in the beginning to even the middle was protesting in peace. They was protesting in peace. It was a whole bunch of people out there. It was white people, it was Asian people, it was black people. They was all out there protesting in peace. The cops didn't have no right to go out there and throw gas masks, trying to attack people, guns and shotguns. If you want to be real with it, I think the president got it confused because, in my opinion, the ones that's the ratchet and thugs is the police officers. Those are the ratchet and thugs, and those are the killers, in my opinion, and that's how I feel. Exactly. Because how you want to say these people that have been marching in peace is the thugs, but then the thugs is the ones that's actually killing people. The thugs is the ones that was in the state with all those shotguns and machine guns. Those are the thugs. Those are the killers. But nobody's not talking about them because they have what you call white privilege, but white privilege don't mean nothing because privilege is a disease. And people need to get that. Because if you not woke and you think that this won't happen in your backyard,
it will.
You mistakenly... Because it's definitely coming to the Caucasian. And it already come to the Caucasian.
Yeah, I mean,
it already comes there.
The thing is that black and brown bodies are disproportionately affected by police brutality. Doesn't mean that there's no police brutality in Caucasian neighborhoods. It just means that we are getting it at higher alarming rates.
Right.
And here's the thing about it. None of us are free until all of us are free.
Exactly.
And if it can happen to us, it can happen to you. And we have to get to a point where we believe and understand that our struggles, or that other people's struggles rather, are our struggles.
Yes.
Okay? And if we are affected, then if they are affected, then we are affected.
Right.
Listen, if you look at, and then they're going on and on about this whole thing with the rioting, I gotta address that. I must address that. I see too many people of color speaking about the rioting and going off on the people who are rioting. Listen, let me say definitively that I do not agree with any rioting. I don't agree with looting and destruction of property. But I will not in this moment take one breath to criticize my brother or my sister for how they decide to react to this injustice. It seems as if you can't hear us when we're quiet, when we out there peacefully protesting and being quiet, but then when we get loud and start burning down buildings, and they talk about, they burned down the Target. This was the same Target that refused to sell milk to the protesters when they were peacefully protesting.
Exactly.
Okay? So that they could use it to put in their eyes to get the tear gas out. So, you know what? Goodbye, Target.
Goodbye.
And that's what happens. When people, Martin Luther King said rioting is the voice of the unheard. When people feel unheard, they will riot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's happening in Minneapolis. And big up to all those people who are putting their bodies on the line. Listen, change doesn't happen without revolutionaries.
It's true.
Okay? And there's got to be a balance of revolution. You're going to have the people who's going to tear shit up. And then you're going to have the people who are working strategically. And this young generation of people, they don't know about any other power they have. They feel powerless. So this is what they do for their voice to be heard.
In my opinion, and then the people and some of the black people that has something against that, then I hope you are one of the people that is actually doing what you need to do and peace when it comes to changing and not just popping shit. I hope you just not one of those people. So if you're not gonna do nothing and you're not gonna basically change what you need to do, then you need to be quiet and shut up.
Yeah.
Because you're not on the front line and your life is not on the front line. So basically, if any change starts to happen, it came from the people that's actually making the change. So what you need to do is be the hell quiet.
Yes. And I'll go right back to what that restaurant owner said, because I agree 100%. I felt like we can rebuild with bricks, but we cannot rebuild people's lives. Point blank and period. Okay?
Right.
Craziness. Anything else you want to say about this?
At this current moment, I think I mostly covered everything I need to basically say about this situation. I'm just so disgusted about what is basically going on in the world. And in my opinion, we, like I said yesterday, we really need to start taking this seriously. We really need to go out there when November come and vote. It's no excuse and stuff. We didn't do it in numbers. When you know who came in office, we did not go out there and vote, and this is why he's in office, and this is why the virus is here, and this is why destruction is here, because of black people not doing what they need to do. We need to do what we need to do so we can get this man out of office, because if we don't, it's going to get worse, and you're going to see even more people dying off of this. And it's sad enough that we as black people have to go through a virus that's killing us, and now we got to go to the cops that's killing us. So we can't fucking win. We just can't win in this. But I tell you this, the more we fight, the more we fight with justice, we're gonna win this.
Yeah.
We're gonna win this. Just remember that.
We will win this.
We will win this.
And that's why it's important that we get out and we vote in November. First, there's the primaries coming up. We need to vote for our primary candidate, but we also need to go down the list. We need to be focused as black people on voting for other candidates, whether it be your state senate, whether it be the senate of the federal senate,
right,
whether it be the assembly person, your council person, your mayor, your governor, your commissioner, your congressperson. We need to be focused on that, because all of that is tied into how we are or how we're able to access those people. If we don't have the right people in office, then the constituents are not able to access those people. And
exactly.
Then we have issues that we have now, where we have a Republican-controlled Senate who is just pretty much completely complicit with whatever the president wants to do. In fact, they're more than complicit. They're on board. They are front runners. They are completely on board with everything, because as was said, I was listening to something the other day, and it was said that this is the racist last hurrah.
Right.
Okay? This is the time in which they feel like, well, this is our last straw. We got a president in office who is very vocally racist, without any kind of apology. So this is our last hurrah. Well, listen, do what you're gonna do, because we finna take y'all down.
Totally.
Okay? We're gonna take you down politically, and we will not allow you to continue to kill us.
Exactly.
Okay? This is not me advocating for violence, but this is saying that if you attack me and mine, we will protect ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay? And anybody who has an issue with that, then you're part of the problem.
Exactly.
We need to get out in November, and we need to vote for Joe Biden. Listen, Joe Biden is far from a perfect candidate. Far from it. Okay? However, in comparison to what we have in this White House now, and what's going on in the federal government and the Senate now, we should be out voting in November. We should be out voting. There is no excuse for us not to vote. No excuse.
None.
You have anything that you want to add? This particular video is, we had a whole thing planned out. We had a whole, we had a guest that was going to come on, but because of what happened last night with, our nephew, we just had to just get on here and use this basically as a bully post.
Right.
As a pulpit to talk about what we wanted to talk about. Everybody else is getting up there and saying whatever the hell they want to say.
All the time about the situation. I'm just so sick of it.
Anybody have any thoughts about what's going on in this world right now concerning racism, concerning quarantine, concerning anything that's on your mind? Feel free to post it down in the chat, and we will, put it up on the screen and have a conversation with you about it. If you want to post down in the chat, we will post it up so that everyone can see it and we can have that conversation. But it's nuts.
It is. It's very nuts, and it's getting out of control. And I just feel like, I always watch The View and stuff like that to see what everybody is doing, what everybody is talking about basically, and it's just really serious. It's, not even with the protests, but just the government itself. Like it's really crazy. And it's the simple fact that you have time to even tweet about what's going on in somebody else's city, because you don't have the authority to do anything the governor do. So just the simple fact that you can tweet about that. How about tweeting about a fucking a vaccine or something? Like, yeah, how about trying to get us out of this quarantine?
You know what's so crazy?
You know
what's so crazy?
I'm confused.
You know what's so crazy? What's crazy is that, George W. Bush, who was president, during 9/11, okay? And, let's be real. George Bush was probably one of the worst presidents that we've ever had, right? Okay? Even he, in this time, has become a voice of reason. And that's crazy. When George Bush can bring more unity to people than the president of the United States.
It's ridiculous.
Listen, and also the fact that this president that's in office is totally obsessed, okay, with the previous administration. Completely obsessed with the previous administration. Every single time anything comes out, it's like, well, it's that way because the Obama did it. Or we don't have enough PPE because Obama was responsible. All this uprising is because Obama didn't put this in place. So
and I'm confused because you had 3 years to put everything in place, to do everything that you needed to do as a president, but then you didn't do it because you was you were so busy going out there and golfing all the damn time, or taking long trips all the time, or taking vacation. You didn't think about anything else where anything was going on in this world. You only thought about yourself. And he always thought about himself. This is why I'm not surprised at this president. He always thought about himself. Just the simple fact, when Obama was in office, and I'm going to say this really quickly, when Obama was in office and he literally dingling people lives, you know, just to get Obama birth certificate. When he got office, I knew that when he first stepped in and won, that this president, the country is at its worst. It's going to get really bad with this man in here, and it got bad in 3 years. Crazy. All this going on in 3 years. He haven't even been in office going on the same time where Obama was in office. But the 3 years he was in office, we got a virus, we got racists to his max, we got people dying everywhere, and he 3 years.
Yeah, going on 4 now.
Crazy.
Yeah, going on 4.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, we have to do what we have to do. And let me just acknowledge the people that have come on. Hi, July, I saw you on. Hi, Brenda, I saw you on. Pastor Sue, I saw you on. Welcome. Thank you. And if you have any questions or if you have anything you want to add, please feel free to join the conversation. Write it down in the chat. Say what you want to say. We are more than welcome to put it up on the screen and have the conversation with you. But yeah, this is insane. You know, things have to change, and we must be strategic. We have to continue to use our privilege, the privilege that we have. The people we're connected to dismantle it. If you have white friends, I said this yesterday, who are not speaking, who are silent in this time, I'm very, very sorry to say, if you don't care about my suffering, you cannot be a friend of mine. This is not against any white people as a whole, because I see that there are plenty of white people that are out there who are just as outraged, and I know multiple people of Caucasian experience that are connected to me, who have spoken out, who I know are putting their bodies in it, their minds, their intellectual wills into it, and that is so much appreciated. But this is not the time to sit around and turn around and go eat your fancy scallops and turn
or drink your wine,
drink your fancy wine, and act like it's not happening.
Because I tell you this, if you keep thinking that it's not, like I said this, I'm gonna say this last time, you thinking that it's not gonna come in your town, it is. Because if this president get in office a second round, I don't know why I'm even saying this or thinking this, but I know it's gonna happen. Martial law is coming, and when martial law comes, you could be white, black, Asian, or human being. You ain't gonna have no privilege at all.
Yeah,
none. So if you think that you just gonna sit around and drink your wine and not care for the next human being that's next door from you, you must be mistaken. Because if you do not go out there and vote, that's what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure that is definitely what's going to happen. Because the president that we had, he don't care about nobody. White, black, Asian, nobody but himself.
Yeah.
Stop. You better get it correct.
Get it correct. So, I think that's all we got time to talk about today.
That's
all
it.
that we want to talk about today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for having us on. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us and listening to us. We are super appreciative of everything that you have done. The fact that you had just taken a minute out of your day to just, listen to us and talk with us. We are super appreciative. This is the Williams Coffee Chronicles. And you have anything else you want to add? We supposed to always end this with a word of encouragement.
Right.
Anything that you have, and then I'll have a word.
I just say to people, just be safe. The regular routine. Just be safe. Always wash your hands. Keep your hands out your face, and let's also check on one another. In and out, just to see how people is doing, and just to see how people is holding up, because this is a scary situation, especially with Black people. It seems like we can't even have our kids outside to even play because of stuff that's going on. So just make sure that you stay safe, and make sure that your family and your family member and people that's outside too, that you see most of the majority of the time, make sure they stay safe. You could be still 6 feet distance, but just make sure that they safe.
Yeah. Listen, I want you to be encouraged to know that this is not the end, and we as Black, we have been oppressed for a long time, and we will continue to fight. So let's just know that even though it seems like things are going crazy or whatever, that we will get through this.
Right.
And that's pretty much the last thing I have to say. Listen, I want to let you know that, again, this is the Williams Coffee Chronicles, and everything you see that we have is for sale.
Yes.
Right? So our t-shirts are for sale. Our mugs.
Let me hold it up right.
They are for sale. And we're also selling a line of other mugs and other colored t-shirts. So listen, join us every day. Well, basically Monday through Friday usually.
Yeah.
We just came on Saturday because this is crazy. We just had to talk about it. But Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m., we will be having this talk. Yeah. And we will talk about a whole range of subjects. So listen, if you have anything that you want to specifically talk about, please feel free to put it down in the comments, and we will read it and we will address it. Our website is going to be launched today.
It's going to be launched today. It's the Williams Legacy Love on Top.
LoveOnTop.com. The Williams Legacy LoveOnTop.com. Which will have all of our videos on it, both the Williams Legacy videos that's about love, relationships, and commitment, and our morning coffee talk, the Williams Coffee Chronicles, in addition to the ability to purchase all of our merchandise that we have.
Yes.
If you feel so inclined to donate, feel free to donate to our Cash App, which is the Williams Legacy. The Williams Legacy.
Yeah.
That's it. I think it should show up on the screen, the Williams Legacy. So if you want to donate to help us further the production of this show, that would be wonderful. But for right now, we thank you all for listening. We thank you all for coming on and watching, and we are very appreciative. And we will be back on Monday.
Yeah.
To talk more. So until then, guys, we will see you, and stay safe and stay prayed up.
Yes.
And stay encouraged.
Yes.
Because in the end, we will
win.
Bye, guys.
Bye.